Welcome, ESO fans. Warehouser DWT back with an update on how to make it rich through the justice system in Elder Scrolls Online Tamriel Unlimited. A lot has changed since my last tips video, and I wanted to point out in this video some improvements on everything from class and race to skills and passives to gear and even champion points that is going to help you be a better thief in the new upcoming DLCs, including Imperial City, Orsinium, and Thieves Guild. Okay, before I get started, I just want to stress that there is no importance on anything that I say in this video. These are just tips and tricks that has helped me, as my character, be the best thief that I possibly can be. And I'm just going to relay some of the information that I use, and possibly you can work it into your gameplay. So without further ado, let's get started and talk about race. I am a Khajiit, and I chose Khajiit specifically for the stealthy passive. With 3 points in this passive, reduces your detection radius in stealth by 3 meters. So basically, when you go into sneak mode, you get an extra 3 meters of stealth just for being a Khajiit. And I believe Wood Elves, Bosmer, also has this passive. Very crucial, really, when you're sneaking around guards or NPCs, store vendors, especially when there's a lockbox close by. Having an extra 3 meters of stealth definitely comes in handy. Okay, let's go over class. I actually put less importance on class just because you can have success with any class in the justice system, but there are a few skills in Nightblade class that definitely come in handy. Dark Cloak being one of them, or Shadow Cloak. It's basically a 3-second invisible. So obviously, if you're trying to be sneaky, having a 3-second instant invisible is pretty nice. Also, Mass Hysteria works well. It's a nice CC if guards are on your tail. I also use Shadow Image sometimes, again, if I'm trying to outmaneuver guards or anything. It's just an extra ability. It's fun to use, so I keep it. Other than that, I wouldn't say class is important. It definitely comes in handy, though, being a Nightblade. But any class can really do well sneaking and stealing. But I do put importance on what type of armor to wear. 7 pieces of medium armor is a must. If I was to put an importance on anything, it would be to wear 7 pieces of medium armor. It's the only way to go if you want to be a successful thief in ESO. Strictly for the improved sneak passive, with 2 points into improved sneak and wearing 7 pieces of medium armor, the reduction cost of my sneaking is almost cut in half. I also get a 35% detection area reduction, so that's an extra 35% area that people cannot see you. So do the math, get out your calculator. As a Khajiit, I already get 3 meters. Top that with an extra 35%. If you're a light armor caster, have some medium armor crafted if you want to be a successful thief. It definitely makes a difference wearing 7 pieces and having an extra 35% reduction to that. It's wonderful. Rarely do I use my skills when I'm stealing, but there are a couple more skills that do come in handy in case I come into contact with an aggressive guard Retreating maneuver is one of them. This is going to give me my major expedition. It also removes any snares, so that's useful. I also pop immovable sometimes. This is just extra defense, and it also makes me immune to any knockback for 5 seconds. Shadow image sometimes. Those are some skills. You can get immovable from the heavy armor. It's the heavy armor skill. And retreating maneuver comes from the assault tree. It's the first skill on the assault under the Alliance War. I also have soul tether in case I need to stun a bunch of them. But that never happens, but in case, I've got all those abilities, and those are skills that may come in handy in the justice system. I want to talk about Legerdman. The Legerdman passives. First I'll go over Locksmith. With 4 points into Locksmith, this will improve your chances of forcing locks by 70%. You'll definitely get a better idea of how this works once you see it in action, and I'll give you a demonstration later on in the video. But a 70% increase to the chance of forcing locks is very useful when you're trying to be an efficient thief. Also, 4 points into improved hiding. And 4 points reduces the stamina cost of sneaking by 40%. So 40% from improved hiding added to the 49% that we get from improved sneak out of medium armor. So that's already 89% reduction cost to sneaking. So those are the skills and passives that come in handy for me while I use the justice system and sneak around and steal stuff. Let's go over some gear. As far as gear, there are a couple sets that I use that have certainly increased my chances of becoming a successful thief in the justice system. One of those sets is the Night Silence set with 5 pieces of Night Silence. Ignores movement speed penalty while stealthing. So the movement speed penalty you get every time you go into sneak mode no longer applies when you have 5 pieces of this set. I also used the 3-piece Nightshade. I have the shoulders, the bracers, and I believe, yeah, the necklace. And 3 pieces decreases the detection radius by 2 meters. It also reduces sneak cost by 24%. Alright, so let's go over this one more time. So I get 24% reduction cost to sneaking from wearing 3 pieces of Nightshade. Top that with 49% I get from wearing 7 pieces and having 2 points into improved sneak in the medium armor skill line. Then under the Legerdman with 4 points into improved hiding, that's another 40%. Let me just show you. So I actually regenerate stamina while sneaking. So there I am casting rapid maneuver, go into sneak mode, and you can see my stamina, albeit slowly, is regenerating while sneaking. And any class can do this. You just need 7 pieces of medium armor along with the Legerdman skills and the right gear, and you can regenerate stamina while sneaking too. Here I am demonstrating how some of these passives work. You notice how I'm able to sneak fairly quickly. That's because of the Night Silence passive bonus on my armor. It negates the movement speed penalty. I'm not a vampire. I'm not a werewolf, although werewolf might be okay for this type of build because of the stamina regeneration. Any type of major or minor endurance would benefit this thief setup. One thing to keep in mind while cracking open safe boxes or stealing anything for that matter is line of sight. Chances are if you can't see their face, they can't see you, and you're able to just get right back into hidden and run around and steal whatever it is that you want. You can notice how I open up safes rather quickly. That's because of the locksmith passive from the Legendman. Increases my chance to force a lock by 50%. It doesn't always work, however, but when it does, it's okay, because breaking a lockpick while forcing it doesn't cause a bounty. Just get back into hidden and try again. Lockboxes are my specialty, but it's always a good thing to look at any trunks, dressers, cabinets, crates, even baskets for different types of loot. I go for safe boxes because of the higher quality item. And while looting cabinets and nightstands and things of that nature, I tend to abandon the low quality, what I would call white item, as I rob these people blind. But we'll go for the more valuable green and blues and the rare purples, because in the justice system you're only allowed to launder a maximum of 140 items per day. So saving that bag space and being able to launder the more valuable items will increase your wealth from stealing. Even the Fighters Guild isn't safe.
Hey, you skulking skeever.
Scalding skeever? Master lock? Not a problem. City guards? Not really a problem.
My temper is short and my blade is long. So what?
Let's see how this playstyle fits in other DLC. Here we have the Imperial City, where it's basically a chest hunt. You're hunting down chests, and contrary to what this video shows, the chests are very few and far between, we should say. There really isn't much to the justice system in Imperial City, unfortunately, except for hunting down chests. You can't pickpocket any of the NPCs, and the only reason to be hidden is because it's a PvP zone, and by staying hidden you're less likely to be attacked by other players. Which is another reason to have the locksmith passive. It's better to quickly force the lock than to have a player gank you while you're taking the time to pick the lock at the moment when you're the most vulnerable. The same thing goes for the sewers. Except down there it's a little more dangerous. Being able to have your defenses and your escape abilities are important. But right now, Imperial City is pretty much a ghost town. And I don't mean by aesthetic design. So when you are forcing a lock, usually having to do it to prevent monster aggro rather than competing with another player. But this is a good way to earn Telvar stones without killing any mobs, pretty quick and easy. And once again, the locksmith passive in the Legiman skill line is worth the 4 points if you want to improve your thieving ability in Elder Scrolls. And I am certain it will be just as valuable in the upcoming DLC Thieves Guild. Now let's take a look at Orsinium. It's a lot different than Imperial City, as there's actually things to steal. As I've said previously, I normally stick to the more valuable green, blue items and leave the white and vendor stuff. There are plenty of cabinets and cupboards, wardrobes and nightstands. There are a few buildings in the city that are perfect for this type of thievery. And be sure to check every urn and backpack and nightstand. Oftentimes some of the best loot in the game can be found in there, such as high quality or rare recipes, motifs, things of that sort. Another way to earn gold through the justice system is to deconstruct stolen weapons. Now, in my previous tips video, I showed you how to steal weapons and then fence them to a vendor. But in this case, you're going to steal these weapons that you find around Hrothgar and Orsinium and deconstruct them. Once deconstructed, you can then sell the materials in a guild store. This method works best after you've maximized your fencing capabilities for the day. The option to pickpocket is always there, especially in Orsinium. There's plenty of NPCs to pickpocket. However, for me, the risk reward for pickpocketing is just not. I just haven't seen loot be really worth taking the risk in pickpocketing. Although I will say, in the new DLC coming out, the Thieves Guild, pickpocketing may be more lucrative than it is now. And so what I would suggest is taking the Legiman passive that helps you pickpocket. And that's Light Fingers. 4 points in Light Fingers increases your chance to successfully pickpocket by 50%. So that's definitely going to help out. I have a feeling that in the new DLC Thieves Guild that will come into play. So it would be good to put in points into Light Fingers. Especially with the new larceny system coming out in Thieves Guild. So I hope these tips help you out in Hugh's Bane. If you have any questions or concerns or complaints, please leave it in the comments. Until then, have fun in ESO.